When my 12-year-old daughter Ava was diagnosed with juvenile epilepsy, our world shifted overnight. She's the bravest kid I know, smarter than most adults I've met and tougher than a Texas fence post. But those seizures? They don't care how tough you are. That's why we got Scout. Scout is a highly trained golden retriever with alert capabilities. He can sense a seizure up to a minute before it starts and warn Ava or us. He's saved her life twice already. We live on a ranch just outside of a gated development called Meadow Hill Preserve. Our property isn't part of the HOA. It predates it by about 40 years. The HOA ends where our cattle fence begins. But that's never stopped Karen from poking her nose over the rails. She's the self-declared enforcer of neighborhood peace. HOA president for 7 years running. Owns a Yorkie named Princess that's bitten more ankles than a lawnmower. Last month, I came home to find Ava crying on the front porch. She'd been walking Scout down our gravel lane when Karen pulled up in her white Mercedes, blocking the path. She jumped out screaming that Ava's big mutt wasn't allowed on HOA grounds, even though Ava hadn't left our land. Karen whipped out her phone and said she was calling the cops because Scout wasn't registered as an approved animal. I'll repeat, this is a fully ADA-certified service dog on private property, accompanying a child with a documented medical condition. Ava told her this. Karen didn't care. For minutes later, 2 sheriff's deputies pulled up. By that time, I had already reviewed our camera footage. We have security set up on the barn and lane. I walked out to meet them calmly with Scout by my side. "Afternoon, officers," I said. "You're responding to a report about a dog on private property?" One of the deputies nodded, already looking uncomfortable. "We were told there was an aggressive dog harassing residents on HOA land." Karen, now standing behind them, shrieked. That beast was dragging her across the road. "It's not licensed with Meadow Hill. It's a safety risk." I handed the officer Scout's ADA certification, Ava's medical paperwork, and footage from our driveway cam that showed Ava staying entirely on our side of the fence, with Karen pulling up to block her. The deputy took one look at it and said, "Yeah, this isn't an issue for us." I wasn't done. What Karen didn't know is that I'm a civil rights attorney, specifically one who specializes in disability law. I've litigated ADA violations in state and federal court for nearly 15 years. For minutes later, I had my assistant email the HOA board a cease and desist. I included the video footage, the police report, Ava's diagnosis from her neurologist, Scout's service dog credentials, and a formal notice of pending legal action under the Americans with Disabilities Act, the Fair Housing Act, and state human rights laws. The HOA called an emergency meeting that night. Karen tried to bluff her way through it, claimed she didn't know Scout was a service animal. Too bad. ADA doesn't require the animal to wear a vest or carry ID. You're not allowed to ask about someone's disability. And if you harass or interfere with a service dog, it's a felony in this state. By the next morning, Karen was removed from the HOA board. Not asked, removed. But we didn't stop there. We sued. Within 3 weeks, the HOA had settled, quietly and for a significant sum. Part of that settlement, a written public apology to Ava, required disability training for all HOA board members, and a clause that permanently bans Karen from holding any leadership position in the community. As for Karen, she sold her house 2 months later. Word is she moved to Florida. I hope they're ready. Ava's doing better now. Fewer seizures thanks to new meds, and Scout's still by her side. Loyal, calm, and ready. We still take walks down that gravel lane. Nobody says a word anymore. They wave. Funny what a little law and one incredible dog can do.